For 20 years, I was one of the most trusted men on Wall Street. People didn't just want to invest with me, they begged. Charities, retirees, celebrities, even a Holocaust survivor trusted me with his life savings. They called me a genius. I was a liar, and by December of 2008, the lie was about to cost me everything. It started small in 1960. 22 years old, $5,000 I made lifeguarding and installing sprinklers. That was my whole fortune. I built a brokerage firm from nothing. By the time I was in my 40s, I wasn't just running a firm, I was chairman of the NASDAQ stock exchange. People in this business, they measure you by one thing, your returns, and mine never missed. 10, 15%, like clockwork. Didn't matter if the market was up or down. That should have been the first warning sign. Nobody's numbers are always the same. But nobody wanted to ask questions. My name alone opened doors. People didn't beg to understand my strategy, they just begged to get in. I kept the investment side small, exclusive. That was the trick. Scarcity makes people desperate. If you have to beg to give me your money, you're not going to ask too many questions about where it's going. Here's the truth about what I was actually doing. There were no trades, no stocks, no strategy. When a new client gave me money, I didn't invest it. I just deposited it, sat there, and when an old client wanted their profits, I paid them out of that new money. That's it. That's the entire scheme. Pay the old with the new, forever. It only works one way, as long as more money keeps coming in than going out. The moment that flips, the moment people want their money back faster than new money arrives, the whole thing collapses. It has to. I knew that on day one. I told myself I'd stop. Find a way to make it right before anyone noticed. I never did. Every year, I didn't stop. The hole got bigger. Fake account statements. Fabricated trades. A whole department, employees who thought they were doing real work, generating paperwork for trades that never happened. I wasn't running an investment firm anymore. I was running a machine that existed for one purpose, to keep the lie alive one more day. September 2008. The financial crisis hit, and everyone needed cash fast. My clients started calling, not asking, demanding. $7 billion in withdrawal requests, all at once. I didn't have $7 billion. I never had. I had maybe 300 million sitting in the account, against 1.5 billion people wanted back immediately. I spent weeks trying to find someone, anyone willing to hand me a massive cash infusion to plug the hole. Every door I used to walk through easily was suddenly closed. By early December, I knew. There was no fixing this. 20 years of lying, and it was going to end not because I confessed, but because the math simply stopped working. December 10th, I threw our annual Christmas party like nothing was wrong. I even handed out employee bonuses early. My own sons who worked for me, who trusted me, asked how I could possibly afford to pay bonuses if the firm was struggling. That question was the beginning of the end. I asked them to come to the apartment. I couldn't say it in the office. I needed to say it to my family, in private, before the world ever heard it. I told them I was finished, that I had absolutely nothing left. I told them the truth. The investment business, the part of my company everyone admired most, was one big lie, a Ponzi scheme, from the very start. I watched their faces change in real time. 20 years of being their father, their mentor, the man who built the family name, gone in one sentence. They didn't hesitate. They left that apartment and called a lawyer. Within hours, federal investigators knew. The next morning, agents were at my door. One of them asked me quietly if there was an innocent explanation for what they'd been told. I could have lied one more time. 20 years of practice. After all, I didn't. I told them the truth. There was no innocent explanation. I'd been running a massive fraud, alone, for decades. The numbers, once investigators dug in, were almost impossible to comprehend. Nearly $65 billion had passed through my accounts as profit that never existed. Real losses, actual money stolen from real people, over $18 billion. Thousands of victims. Retirees who'd trusted me with everything they had. Charities that closed their doors because the money they thought they had was never real. I pled guilty to 11 felony counts. The judge gave me the maximum, 150 years. But the sentence wasn't the worst part. My son Mark, the one who turned me in, the one who couldn't live with what I'd done to our family, took his own life exactly 2 years after my arrest. My other son Andrew died of cancer a few years later, having spent his final years fighting to distance himself from my name. I died in that prison in 2021, never released, never forgiven. 20 years, $65 billion, and in the end, I didn't destroy just my own life. I destroyed everyone who ever trusted me. That's the thing about a lie built to last forever. It never actually can. Nearly 41,000 victims across 127 countries were eventually repaid. but not until 16 years after my arrest.